Welcome to another edition of the 21st Century Reformation Hour. I have before me the copy of the paper that's dated January 14 of Christian News, which is being mailed out right now. I want to start with the Bible passage we have up on top. I'll tell you why later on. I am the way, the truth, and the life, Jesus answered him. No one comes to the Father except by me. Notice the lead story is entitled Universalism Marches On. Elka and LCMS clergy may teach Muslims and Christians believe in the same God. Why do we have that emphasis today? Because of what happened in Newtown, Connecticut. I'm sure all of you heard of the tremendous massacre that they had there. Well, President Obama came and they had a interfaith clergy service. There they had Muslims, Baha'i, Methodist, United Church of Christ, Roman Catholic priest, concluding with a benediction by a Lutheran Church Missouri Synod pastor. It clearly was an unionistic service, no question about it. I wrote to President Harrison prior to this and asked him, did you give permission for this Missouri Synod pastor to participate? And if so, if you didn't, will any discipline be taken? I heard nothing. So we went ahead and published all the stories about that service now. You can get it yourself. Get the issue of our paper. It will tell you. You can watch it. It's about an hour and 10 minutes. I watched the whole thing. I can assure you. I also watched what happened there in September 23, 2001, when that caused a lot of fury in the Missouri Synod. This service actually was far more unionistic from beginning to end. I contacted pastors in the area, and they told me the same thing. Now, since we had Muslims there, the Muslim read from the Quran. I have the Quran right here. And I have a review of the Quran where I show you what it really does say. A book has just been published titled The Quran, With or Against the Bible. It's written by a Muslim scholar, and he's trying to show that there really isn't much difference between the two books. I read the book carefully, and now I take quotations from the book which clearly show there's a vast difference between the Quran and the Bible. From this book, which is supposed to show there's no difference. He said Jesus isn't God, the Trinity isn't the only true God, you're going to work your way to get to heaven. Well, such matters like that. Now, the current issue of the Lutheran, the January issue, had a very enlightening article entitled The Shrinking Church. I have a major section of the article there, and they show that within Elka they have, I can read it to you directly, more than 1,000 Elka churches closed over the past 10 years. Some merging with others, some simply shutting their doors, and members dispersing. In the same issue of our paper, I have from the Wall Street Journal a whole series of articles entitled Church Property Sales Up 500,000%, Renovated to Condominiums. Now you can see the pictures, I have more of them on the next page, showing these huge churches sold and now turned into apartment houses or one thing or another. So now what's the cause of all that? There's no question that, as Elka says, churches are shrinking. Other issues that we have here, we have an article on the formula of Concord Core and highlights a review of a book that we published. It's a very enlightening review. Then we have a response to it, and it's kind of, in a way, it was kind of sad. The writer who reviewed the book once had written excellent books, and he's highly critical of Dr. C.F.W. Walther. The reason why so many are critical of Walther, they want an Episcopal-type church government, a hierarchy. Walther wanted congregationalism, and that's where the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod had formerly stood. Now we have this vast movement trying to get away from congregationalism. And I can guarantee you this, you will not find much said about this unionistic service by those I call the hyper-Euros or sacerdotalists. Their man is now in control. Their man, President Harrison. If that happened under President Kiechlich's regime, so-called, anyway, when he was president, they never would have protested. But now they vigorously protest. Well, we proceed on here. I have an article on Martin Luther King Day. If you get Portals of Prayer, you notice they have a special day for Martin Luther King. They have a special prayer in here. Generally, it's pretty good. We've recommended portals of prayer. But Martin Luther King, he was an horrendous adulterer. He didn't believe in the resurrection of Christ. We have a book here which points that out. Bonhoeffer and King. Then also, Bishop Ting died now, just recently. Bishop Ting was a stooge used by the communists, president of the Nanking Seminary, and very few in our church recognize that. Dr. Wallace Schultz recognized that, but unfortunately he had to suffer the consequences. He's no longer president of Lutheran now. He spoke the truth about what was going on in China, about how they were using the China Christian Council. Here I have it in our book, Walter A. Meyer, Missouri and the World Still Speaks. Here you have a picture of Meyer and a picture of Schultz. LCMS and LL Liberals opposed Dr. Meyer and Dr. Schultz. We explained to them how Dr. Schultz really did tell the truth about what happened at 9/11 or 9/23, and also he told the truth about what was going on in China. Well, we have many articles here. I just simply urge you to get a hold of the paper, read it. They tell me, that's the trouble with you, Otten. You got far too much in there. Well, I hope what I'm telling you here now, that will inspire you to go ahead and read the issue of the paper. Remember, the Bible passage, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me. God be with you. We will see you next week.